Hey, so I'm just gonna say hi. It's been a really long, strange week, and at the end of a really long, strange couple of months, we're all adjusting to a brave new world, which is really just getting into high gear. Not even high gear; it's getting into low gear. You've seen the numbers wherever you are. This is changing your life in ways that are immediate and ways that will reverberate for years, if not decades, to come. Hopefully some of those reverberations will be good ones. In other words, making sure our healthcare system is more resilient in a world that's so linked that a virus can jump from a mammal, a non-human mammal to a mammal to a human in a wet market in Wuhan, China, and make its way around the world in a matter of months to become a global novel um, illness that's astounding in its power, even as it's really not going to profoundly affect each individual in some way or other. It's profoundly affecting the systems that we rely on. I've asked some people to see if they can stop by, so we'll see if that happens. In the meantime, if you have a question for me, remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a public health scientist, but I do know a lot of people in those categories, and we'll just talk for a few minutes. I should grab a beer, actually, but maybe in a few minutes. Let me know what's going on. In the meantime, I could show you around the internet. Let's see here, share screen. Yeah, the internet's quite a place these days. We have a president who is in fantasy land, um, in a dangerous way, affecting all of us with misstatements one after the other, as officials who are hardworking and have great souls are trying their best to undo that damage on a daily basis, hourly basis. It's really kind of insane to see what's unfolding. Let me just see. I think someone may be popping by. This is the experiment part. This is a new platform for me. It's called StreamYard, and I've invited some folks to join me from different parts of the world. Let's see. Now this is a great idea. Whoops, where'd you go? Go back to that. Darn. It looks like CBS was reporting on a global choir, essentially, which is something that someone from the band Depeche Mode years ago. Oh no, I lost it. Here we go. Let's see what this is about. So you probably can't hear that. See if you can hear it this way. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm pretty speechless. was wondering if we could do simultaneous harmonies. I don't know if they were recording it or if this was done live as a group. I've been trying to figure out if we can do that with my band. Wochit. I'm gonna have to find out more about Wochit. Fantastic. And here's the dark side of what's going on. Our hardworking public health and hospital and medical friends and neighbors are just going to be in the thick of it for weeks, months to come. And the statistics and concerns about their health and safety are enormous. And hopefully you can reach out and eventually give them a hug for their service.
Who are not complying. And I mentioned this before, but it has not gotten better. You know, you can have your own opinion. You cannot have your own facts, okay? You want to have an opinion, have an opinion. But you can't have your own facts. Well, young people don't get this disease. You are wrong. That is not a fact. 18 to 49 years old are 54% of the cases in New York State.
Wow.
54%. 18 to 49 years old. So you're not Superman and you're not Superwoman. You can get this virus and you can transfer the virus and you can wind up hurting someone who you love or hurting someone wholly inadvertently. Social distancing works, and you need social distancing everywhere.
You're so right. Let's hope people are listening.
We do have an issue with younger people who are...
We're not going to listen to the president. Australia is closing Bondi Beach. Neil Finn is broadcasting shows. That's pretty cool. We're going to try to do some live music for you here as well. I like it. Go Neil. I'm going to try not to click on the things that piss me off, like Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, echoing Trump's unsupported claims about chloroquine. But it's driving me a little bit crazy, the misinformation that's coming from the top in so many places. Let's check out the Johns Hopkins University map. Oh, I think hashish dust Russia is coming in to say hi. Let's see. Ashish, can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Hold on. I cannot hear you. There are some settings to check for microphone. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Try popping back in again. Um, Try popping back in again. Like hang up and come back.
I don't know if you can hear me. I can't seem to hear you.
I hear you now. You not hear me?
No,
You don't hear me. Hold on.
no. Let me try it again.
I hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, you can. Okay, good.
Good.
So
Been good.
where are you? Where in the world are you?
I'm in my living room right now.
But where are you living right now? I can't remember.
Oakland.
So, we first met on the internet, on Twitter, I think,
Yep.
when you were in Nepal. Was it before the earthquake? It was actually
It,
much earlier, right?
it was a couple of years earlier. Yeah, it was a couple of years earlier than
Yeah,
that.
because I posted some of your work on
Dot Earth.
Dot Earth.
Yeah.
So this is pretty funny. Can you explain to people a little bit about what's going on for you?
What's going on for me in America or in Oakland? I mean, in Nepal.
In your daily life right now? Because I have to
Oh,
jump on
and
a phone call.
it's been a little surreal because I'm living in completely two different worlds and in time zones. I'm doing a lot of updates from and on Nepal right now on my Instagram stories and some on Twitter. And I'm also trying to stay updated with what's happening here in America. And, on day-to-day basis, I work from home anyway, so it hasn't really impacted me that much. But my afternoon sun sessions at the local Pete's Cafe is halted for the moment.
It's a little crazy here. My phone was suddenly ringing. I feel like
Okay.
on a Saturday, I thought it'd be quiet, but it's ringing. So
So
yeah, we're poised for even more lockdown here in New York. We live 50 miles north of New York City, up the Hudson River.
beautiful, beautiful spot.
Before I know,
Yeah,
and so there's still a surreal aspect to this because not being in the city, the roads are quiet and the market had some surges of buying. It was empty for a few days, but it's still a beautiful day. And we went for a hike, and the dogs were running in the woods, and the
yeah.
city
I mean,
doesn't have as many contrails in it, not as many flights overhead. But
makes sense. Yeah.
we had this
Uh,
in 2004. I wrote this long piece for the New York Times about the tsunami, the Indian Ocean tsunami. That week, it took right as it was right after it hit. I had to write a piece that sort of played how that wave, those waves, spread across the Indian Ocean
mhm.
all the way to Kenya,
Oh
and
wow.
it was a 7,000 word story about scientists knowing what was happening but not being able to do anything about it. And to some extent, what's been unfolding has that feeling to it.
Oh, absolutely.
And in the Himalayas, it's kind of the same. Sometimes it's just faster when there's an earthquake.
Completely. I mean, it's faster when it's an earthquake, but at least with an earthquake, you don't know when it's going to hit, right? I mean, with this situation, for example,
No.
the government initially even told, well, the health ministry officially told health workers to try and not talk about this outbreak and the first confirmed case in Nepal in January. So it's been a bit not good in that sense.
Yeah, it was weird, and it still feels weird to me seeing India with so few cases. If you look at the Johns Hopkins map,
Exactly. It's like 200 now or 200 something.
yeah, well, it was was like 142 when I interviewed. I did a segment of his show.
Yeah.
I'll call it a show. Um, with a microbiologist in India and with a journalist there, and that was Tuesday, I think, and it was
Yeah.
142 cases.
I was looking at the Financial Times spread that they did on this yesterday, and the list of countries, India is still only at number 5, which is great. But Pakistan was number 25 as of last night with the most number of cases. Um, so I think it's just a matter of time. Nepal too. It's just a matter that nobody, just not enough tests has happened, and then that seems to be the case here in America too.
And then, of course, by then it's too late anyway because it's
Exactly.
when you think of the concept of social distancing and you think of Kathmandu or you think of Mumbai,
It's impossible.
does it seem like
It's, it's,
I mean, is there any freaking way that can?
No, I mean, just now the government in Nepal has finally, I think, with a lot of prodding from WHO and a couple of other organizations, finally Nepal is also moving in a lockdown kind of a phase. But until like 2 weeks ago, it was the wedding season. And so you just had people were going to wedding events with like hundreds of people, like a couple of weddings a day. And so my social media feed from my friends and family was just like filled with people at clubs, people at wedding parties, people at restaurants. And so it is a very surreal thing to think about social distancing in this sense. But but Nepal is also very used to curfews because we have so much political problems in the country over the years. So people are also very tuned into the idea of what a curfew is like. So we know how to hunker down when it comes down to that.
Yeah.
But this is different because it's like people still want to believe that somehow Nepal may be immune to this thing, but there's of course no scientific or logical grounding to that.
No, I worry, and again for India, I just can't. The interviews I did there showed pretty clearly that again, it's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time, and that's the thing. Like if India outbreak really picks up, Nepal is going to be swamped with cases for sure. What's happened is because the government has announced kind of like we're going into a lockdown phase from next week, tens of thousands of people left Kathmandu and went back home to the villages that same day. And so it makes sense because they don't want to be stuck in Kathmandu, but also Kathmandu is where, infections, probably the most number of infections exist. And so you just have people going home because that's the only option they have. It's sort of like, Laurie Garrett's been talking on Twitter, like figure out where you want to be for the next 6 to 8 weeks because the country may be locking down. And that's just what it is. What are people going to do? They need to go home, but if they take the infection with them, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, New York is surreal too because it turned out to be like now it's the most cases in America, right?
Right.
And that's, I mean, my family's in New York, my sister, my dad, my parents, everybody. So talk to them every day, and they're pretty, they're Nepalese, so they know what a curfew is like. Dad, my sister was joking. This is the first time Dad has been correct about his overthinking of an issue where like they bought food on time, they bought medicines on time. But both of them have the flu right now, and so we are kind of a little worried about that.
Wow.
But they live by themselves in an apartment, and so their cold is getting better, but their cough is still terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother had, who's a doctor, came back from Europe and had a virus. He got tested finally for coronavirus a week ago Tuesday. So
Oh wow.
it took until a week ago today for him to get the negative. It was a negative result actually.
Okay, no, that's good.
He had the good old fashioned rhinovirus, the cold virus.
And there is. I've been thinking about this because Nepal had a series of incidents where patients from the isolation ward just decided to walk out and go home. And these were like patients who were brought in and being tested for being, watched for COVID-19 issues. And they just like a couple of them ran away from the hospital. And then one young man who had returned from Saudi Arabia, just like I think it was last week, he was in an isolation ward for observation, and he, at a certain point, I think a day in, he decided he's just gonna go home. He's not gonna stay at the hospital, and I don't know. His test results haven't been announced.
Wow.
But I think there's some kind of like a almost like an unknown stigma attached to possibly being like that guy in Nepal who tested positive. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I think here people understand, there's it's just illness. There's no stigma attached to it. But in Nepal, I worry like to a certain extent people might be afraid about a stigma attached to it. Like we had a case, young girl, educated, a Nepali girl living in the UK citizenship. She was in Nepal end of February for a week, and first week of February she went to all the hotspots in the country, like trekking, tourist towns, Kathmandu. Then when she landed, she got pulled over at Heathrow and was put in quarantine, and she tested positive.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but her friends in Kathmandu are refusing to share any information about it now because they're worried their trekking company, which took the girl out, might get bad branding, or they're refusing to test themselves even. So it's kind of weird where we have like young, educated people who've traveled the world are kind of behaving that way in this situation.
It's going to be the other place I worry about is sub-Saharan Africa,
Oh yeah,
where you have there are all these stigmas around illness for sure, and there's just the basic capacity for healthcare remains so limited in many places that you can see a very bad scenario building there too. I've been trying to keep track of how many cases, and it's
there was something about a patient who flew in, a passenger who flew in Ethiopia Airlines just yesterday, tested positive. I think saw it on Twitter an hour or so ago.
yeah, no, there's a growing list of countries that are
Yeah, I mean, that's it's just the way of this. It's just the way of a pandemic, right? I guess.
yep,
But it's also the economic. This double whammy with the economic thing is going to be like I don't know how a country like America is going to address it, and I can't even begin to imagine what a country like Nepal, which depends on tourism and remittance money, is going to deal with the situation.
that's true. I hadn't even thought about all that remittance income for so many people.
Yeah, it's like it covers almost 30 to 35% of the country's GDP. And
Wow.
now all the Middle Eastern countries have already said no more Nepali, or no more migrant workers coming in for indefinite period of time. And so we already have tens of thousands of people whose visas have been revoked in Kathmandu who were supposed to depart last week, this week, and the week before. Yeah, so it's a huge social issue. I mean, it's rooted in finances, but it's a major social issue because this was supposed to be how the family was going to survive for the next couple of years,
Right.
and now that's in a complete limbo.
So how do you get by there in Oakland? What's your day-to-day life like now?
So I have to wake up really early at 5:30 to 6 a.m. because the markets in New York open at 9:30. So I got to get ready for that. That's essentially how I support all of my research and uh, all the work that I do around conservation, environment research, and policy advising is from my own income. So my day to day is essentially waking up in the morning, catching up with the markets, and then until 1 p.m. when the markets close, 1 p.m. Pacific time, it's just that. Then I'd walk downtown Oakland, get some sun at Pete's Cafe, get a cappuccino, and follow up on news, do some writing. That's been on hold now. So I've just been eating a lot more, quite honestly.
Yeah,
I've been walking a lot less and I've been eating a lot more.
yeah. Whoops, someone's popping in here. Who is this? Hold on. It's David Burns, one of my favorite culture videos. Ashish, how do you pronounce your last name? I always have trouble with it.
Shrestha.
Shesh, Shesh,
Shrestha.
say it again.
Shrestha.
Shrestha. Okay, I have
Yep.
no problem with it. David Burns. This is Ashish
Greetings.
Shrestha, who is a Nepali American friend who is a writer, sustainability focused thinker, and great all around.
Thank you.
Out in Oakland, California. David Burns there, along with introducing me to my spouse.
That us?
Wait, is May there too?
Yeah, May's right here.
Hi, May.
Happy pandemia.
Is that what we're calling it? Is that what we'll call it? Is that what
Andy, I only want to hear good news, no bad news.
Yeah, okay. Well, there, actually, I should go back to this. There was a wonderful.
We need more volume.
Yeah, we can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Let me see.
Is that us chirping or you?
Kashish, is there a bird in your apartment?
No.
That's here. We're going to disconnect the bad smoke detector.
Oh, is that what it is? No. Hold on. Let me fix my microphone then. That's interesting. Hold on. Give me a second here. I'll see if I can change my settings. Microphone.
Where is it though?
Camera, audio. Hold on.
Let's see if that works. Is that better?
Much better.
Oh, yeah, much better.
Oh my gosh. All right. There we go. Move that away. That's so much funny.
Well,
So David, Kashish David runs a small business in Beacon, New York, a music store. He's a musician,
Oh, very cool.
a songwriter, folk musician. He produced several Pete Seeger albums, has a couple of Grammys on his mantelpiece as a result. And so David, how is this hitting you? And May, of course, is a teacher whose school is shut down.
it's hitting us like it's hitting everybody else. A couple of additional twists, I guess. I had a flare-up of rheumatoid arthritis, and the doctor says, "I'm sorry, I can't give you the drugs. They suppress your immune system." So,
Wow.
Oh, wow.
sitting here. But we're here, and I have my mother-in-law here staying with me.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good, I think, obviously. I mean, maybe it might be stressful occasionally, but
How are you guys doing?
Oh, just hanging in here in Oakland, trying to get some exercise and evening walks. Eventually, it's just become a thing. Eventually, you just end up at the local Whole Foods or Target or grocery outlet just to pick something up,
Well, what do you do when you get home? What precautions do you take?
What precautions do we take?
Like when you walk home from a store.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like, how neurotic are we supposed to be?
We're just doing the basics of like hand washing and wiping down things. Not much more beyond that.
Okay. And how is it in the stores? I haven't ventured out in 10 days.
Actually, most of the people now, I go every day because I just need to go anywhere, somewhere. But the transition I've seen is people really are now walking around with gloves on, like rubber gloves on, or latex gloves on. So that's the big thing.
Where do you live?
Oakland.
Ah, you're in Oakland. Yeah, we're both in hot spots. Yeah.
New York and California, I know.
yeah.
My cousin lives north of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
You've probably all heard the joke that's been going around, but just in case you haven't, the joke around here, everyone has Lyme disease around here because we're not far from Lyme, Connecticut. So the joke is, if this extends into tick season, we'll have Corona with Lyme.
Andy, you're laughing.
Good to see.
That's pretty good.
Oh, God.
I texted that to Lisa, I think.
That's pretty funny.
That's really funny. Well,
So
Nepal is
Carry
going
on,
to get
gentlemen,
dengue,
let's
so nothing like that in Nepal. We're just going to get corona with dengue, so no jokes there.
No, that doesn't sound very jokey
No.
at all.
Not at all.
So David and I have been talking about doing a live
Music session?
song circle. Yeah. So we'll have
very cool.
David, do you have your banjo or your guitar handy?
I do. Is there no latency on this? Can we actually play together on this?
I'm not so sure. Well, we could test it out. I have a feeling, but we could do it as a song circle where you sing something and I sing something.
Yeah. I have to interrupt. Andy, what app is this that you're using? StreamYard?
It's called StreamYard, StreamYard.com, and you set it up and it goes onto Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And people can post comments.
Class.
And actually, say that again?
Not good for my class. We're using Google Meet. I met up with 2 of my classes, but I don't see, we can't see like we're seeing now, the 3 of us. I'd like to do something where we can all see each other.
You can have up to 6 people in this. Six different people in different places. It's a good place, May. This is a good tool for bringing someone in from the outside to speak to students, for example. Like
maybe you will be a guest speaker to my class.
I can do that. Yes, and Jonathan Kruk, the storyteller here, I just had him on. I had him on my show this thing a couple of days ago, and he's zooming into people's classes. So
I am going to ask him about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just donated to their Kickstarter thing, or not Kickstarter, whatever it is.
Oh, good. If I'm red, then you're like normal.
You're purple. You look purple here.
Gotta back off.
Yeah, you have the best. You have the best color scheme.
Anyway, I gotta go change the battery in this thing.
Okay. Because it's still daylight here, so I'm just like on natural light. You guys are. It's evening there, so you guys are already indoors, and you're bulbs.
I'm under LED kitchen lights.
Yep.
So we're getting into gear. Oh yeah, I guess I screwed up with my microphone earlier. I should have checked that. All right.
So let's test something. If there's no latency, you and I could go 1, 2, 3 and start singing a song, and we would hear the harmony without any.
Yeah. So you start a song, and let me see if this works.
All right.
Let's see. Lock him away.
Send him away.
Send him away. No. Or you could just do the mighty the lion sleeps tonight, or whatever you want. Just start a song. Let's just see.
Trump must go. Send him away. Send him away. Send him away. Send him away. Him away.
Send him away. Him away. Him away. No, so it is latency. Yeah, okay. I had a feeling. But we could do it like a round robin then, like one. Someone sings. There was this awesome. If you all have a few minutes, I'll show you. Let me get rid of that comment. Whoops. Hold on. How do I take that down? Hide. Okay. Yeah. Give me a second here. I want to show you. There was this amazing. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do.
Okay. Good.
Where's my share screen? Share screen. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I only have the one. Oh, never mind. Darn. I kind of screwed up.
I know I'm purple.
You're purple. I can hear you.
Jacob.
You
can hear that. There's something I wanted to do, but hold on one more second. This is a very ragged version of this show. The ones I've done so far have been very well produced.
I saw one of them.
Yeah. All right. Now that I have that, okay, now I can share the screen. I want to show you an amazing thing that some students did. If I can go back to it, that shows they recorded a. Here, whoops, not that. We're here. No, we're here. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Let's see if I can find this again. It was astounding. Oh, students choir. Oh, I hope I find it. They recorded. Oh, come on. I just was on it a minute ago. It was that song. Here we go. Oh, this is so cool. Now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. Let's try. I think you can hear it. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh, this is not going to work. Maybe it is. Ah. Was he
weird? Computer within a computer within a computer. I feel like a barber shop where the mirrors are on both sides.
Is that what you're seeing? Oh, here they are. Now, can you hear anything?
Oh yeah, we can. We can hear.
You can? You hear that okay?
Yes.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I dreamed of once
Andy, what do they use?
Pretty amazing.
That's really neat.
Skies are blue.
There's a guy from the band Depeche Mode who started something called Global Choir, or Global Chorus, where he can do this with thousands of people.
Oh,
They
wow.
just record the same song to the same, timing.
Uh-huh.
What program is allowing you to see so many faces? That would take my class right there.
It's really cool. They have you'll see there's an app at the end that shows the that they did.
Not here, David. Mark that down.
It's you'll see it at the end. Where is it? The app. Oh no, there was there's some app there's some way to do that, which is pretty cool, which I want to find out more about because
Andy, have you ever taught with an iPad so you can write on it and show the kids the screen?
Taught with an iPad so you can write on it and show the kids the screen. You mean show them the screen on like a projection?
No, I would share whatever is on. Is this inappropriate for this forum? It might not be the right time to ask.
Oh, this has become a very informal forum.
Yeah.
Someone said I could download an app on my iPad. So
Also, as you write it, it would show up on like.
Right. So like if I was going to teach math, I'd be able to use my finger or a stylus. Any knowledge? Anyone?
Nada.
I'm searching for it right now. There's an Apple Pencil. Is that the kind of thing? Education apps for iPad and iPencil.
So I can do that. I'll do that.
Yeah. There's things like that. I will say that on Twitter this week there was some amazing sharing of educational tools like apps and courses, actually, like mini courses that people were throwing together, so that people who are stuck at home who have something they can teach effectively can connect with students.
I wouldn't mind someone throwing stuff to me because I'm making it all up. One thing to stand in front of fifth graders and teach them, but to have to write it all out and post it.
I know. Well, May, you're on Twitter, right?
Well, I disconnected the app. So now
Seamus Khan, you see right here, if you can see the screen. He's the chair of the sociology department at Columbia, and he's been doing some fantastic aggregation on the web of, here it is, right? Check this, yourremote-learning.com. youthremote-learning.com. Check out this website.
Okay, I'm going to it right
A new
now.
way to engage with content, and there's courses, a bunch of courses here. Introduction to video game development, African art and culture, introduction to public health.
Yeah, I'm sick. So I was trying. Did I tell you I was trying to teach about the Aztec?
No.
Oh, so the next lesson in social studies in fifth grade for me right now would be to teach about the Aztec, the Inca, and the Maya. So I'm previewing videos that I was going to post just to make sure they're not too boring, because they tend to be. And I found a great one, except they get pretty heavily into, even though the Spanish explorers were such a huge threat, the number one threat that killed off millions or however many there were of these early civilizations was the introduction of foreign germs like smallpox.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was like, I cannot do this with my kids right now. That would not be fair.
No, that would be.
I had to nix that video. It's very tricky doing this now. David has a song, by the way.
And yeah, I can't stay on because
I know. Well, let's talk. And actually, I can't stay on either. So let's end with the song. But let me maximize your view. Hold on, Kashish. Thanks for checking in from Oakland.
Ah, no, man, of course.
It was nice meeting you.
We'll make this a little bit less ragged. Listen. Hold on, David. 1 second.
Come visit New York after the pandemic.
Absolutely will do.
Here we go. A song from David Burns.
You have to brush your hair next time before you get online.
yeah, my hair's not right there.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, Andy, did I already share with you the song I wrote called "To You" about
I
last
heard that one.
week? What?
It doesn't sound familiar, but
Well, see, seeing we all might die, whatever, here's the song about my last will. Dearly beloved, I'm of sound mind and body, at least some people say. So here's my will, my testament. Yeah, I'm giving it all away. So I hereby give, devise, bequeath when my life is through. Now it may sound generous, but don't you make a fuss. I'm leaving this world to you. To you, every flower on the side of the road. To you, every frog thought it was a toad. To you, my precious friends who carry the load. To you, those who talk a lot with nothing to show. To you, and all the relatives who just wouldn't go. That doesn't mean usually. I'm leaving them all to you. There's no need to thank me. Say, hey, yeah, rank me. I'm leaving this world to you. To you, every ringtone on every phone. To you, every crowd that makes you feel so alone. To you, every commoner that acts like a queen and a pre-torn skin-tight fashion jeans. To you, every lover ever told me no. Anyone who ever said, I told you so. And all those who think that they know, I'm leaving them all to you. No need to thank me, it's just a little hanky-panky. I'm leaving this world to you. To you, anyone who never paid the band. To you, all the dough that ever slipped through my hands. To you, every line ever drawn in the sand. To you, those who promise there's a promised land. To you. Ah, that's right. I gotta remember my line here. Yeah. There's only 3 more lines in the song and I'm forgetting them. Who's my age? Let's see.
It's the end of the world anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. To you, the smiling liars that can treat you so mean. To the things you saw that just shouldn't have been seen. And all the dirty dishes that should have been cleaned. I'm leaving them all to you. No need to thank you. You might think, hey, he pranked me. I'm leaving this world to you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, man, let's make the most of the next weeks. We did a really cool broadcast on Friday with Irene O'Garden, great poet from here, and Jonathan Kruk, great storyteller, and a comedian in New York City, Chuck Nice. And one of the things that emerged in the conversation was that the upside of being so socially distanced and having to figure out how to connect more is that when we're done, we'll be much more eager to connect with each other in positive ways, I think, going through this turmoil. So coming out the other side, Irene O'Garden calls this
Here's to that.
The age of the Great Compassion is what she calls it. It's not a Great Depression or contraction or whatever. It's the age of compassion.
I love that.
So let's hope Irene is right.
Let's hope so.
Thanks for tuning in from Oakland, California.
Ashish, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, David.
And David, I was thinking of doing a folk music brunch or something maybe tomorrow.
Let's do this every day.
You know I'm into brunches.
Yeah, I know. That's right. I introduced me to my wife at one of their brunches. The woman is now my wife.
Okay, dinner has arrived.
All right, have a good dinner.
All right.
Good evening.
Okay, bye.
Take care.
Everybody be safe. Social distancing does not mean distancing. You can still be close to people, even if you're not able to be within 6 feet of them. And of course, those of us who are intimately connected already, we're in for it, whatever. Great. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Love you.
Bye. So where is he? Is he in Coast?